My name is Rev Yearwood, and I'm president of the Hip Hop Caucus, a national organization that helps young people get involved with politics and policies.
What's the importance of representation at actions such as these? Sometimes when there's big marches or protests concerning the environment and climate change, it's overwhelmingly white, not a whole lot of diversity out here. Is it a lack of messaging on behalf of those putting these events together, or is it the fact that communities of color and frontline communities aren't just aware that they have a voice and a position in this movement?
Well, it's a combination of that, right? So the first thing is that, yes, if the goal here is to transition from fossil fuels to clean energy, you cannot do that with only one segment of the population. You must have organized people, all organized people, black, white, brown, yellow, male, female, working together. And so you can't have a climate movement as a predominantly white Birkenstock movement that is going to make things happen to fight the fossil fuel industry. They actually know that. And so what we're seeing now is there is a push to really diversify and bring in frontline communities. I think particularly because of Flint and also because of Standing Rock, definitely because of Katrina and Sandy, there's an understanding that those who are first and worst hit by climate change and by environmental injustice are people of color. So I think that this movement is beginning to broaden, but it's tricky because this movement, you know, is a very well-funded movement, and it has big orgs that have been around since some for a very long time, but some predominantly for the past 50 years, who kind of are in their way, that are mostly have boards that are mostly not people of color or orgs the same way. But I think that one of the key things here is going to be how this movement can diversify in that process.
When we talk about the issues facing the globe as a result of climate change, specifically here in the U.S., when we're talking about environmental justice or environmental injustice, as it were, where communities have been long neglected from industry and pollution and lead paint and lead pipes, and these communities obviously still are predominantly those of color. So how can we sort of bridge this gap of, well, climate change is happening, the seas are rising, but actually there's a good many of us who are indeed being poisoned by environmental toxicity and remnants of industrial times? Most
definitely. 68% of people of color live within 30 miles of coal-fired power plants. We see within Flint the disgusting situation regarding the lead in the water. We see in Baltimore with Freddie Gray regarding the lead in the paint. We saw within Eric Garner, who was choked and said, "I can't breathe." But reality is that in Staten Island, you know, has the most trees in that community, got an F for air quality because of the pollution. We see that we have to fight poverty and pollution at the same time. And so this is our issue without a doubt. And so because of that, I think we need to begin to champion that. I'm so proud of what folks are doing regarding Black lives and regarding connecting climate justice and those things together. That's a great step. Now, and we have to begin to work with the larger green orgs who have been predominantly white. So let's just put it to the side for a second. Let me deal with actually communities of color, because sometimes we don't deal with that. We, as people of color, have to stop being so close to the fossil fuel industry. So particularly the Congressional Black Caucus, which is predominantly African, well, it is all African American, which represents those who are in the federal government, representing people of color around this country, must divest from fossil fuels. Their conferences, their book signings, their dinners can't be paid for by the same people who are killing us in the street. You can't have Chevron, or they say out in Oakland, Chevron, or Exxon, or BP coming out here putting banners while you're talking about the cancer or the emphysema or the asthma that's causing our children. We can't have both ways. Large rights groups got to cut off and divest from taking money from fossil fuel companies. So our churches got to stop taking money from fossil fuel companies. That's bad money. It's not good money. So we as a people got to tell the fossil fuel industry, like we did with tobacco, you killing our people, we're not taking your blood money anymore. That's where it's got to start, because then our voices will be more liberated. Because one of the things here in this march is that many people of color who are in leadership are not speaking out because they're still taking checks from the fossil fuel industry. And so you got to stop taking that check and come out here into the streets, because our people are dying. So it shouldn't look like this when folks who are in Southeast or in Baltimore are literally dying because of the same fossil fuel companies who are giving you $10 to pay for a chicken dinner at your dinner. That's got to stop. And once that stops, Then, or we can put new people in office, new candidates in office who ain't taking that kind of money, and we can divest from fossil fuels and invest in clean energy. Once that happens, I guarantee you'll start seeing more people coming out. Right now, we're seeing young people definitely who are beginning to rise up from our community and saying that, listen, their business plan means a death sentence for our generation. So we're not going to take their money, and we're going to fight.
Well said. And lastly, Rev, for those who may not be familiar with the Hip Hop Caucus and the type of issues and campaigns that you're working on, can you share with us what the Hip Hop Caucus has going on?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm actually marching. Hip Hop Caucus is all over the country, and we're like in 30 cities. And so Hip Hop Caucus Detroit, today I'm marching for them because of the Marathon refinery that's in their community, and also for Flint with the water. So I'm marching for, I'm from Louisiana, New Orleans. Hip Hop Caucus, what's up? And so we're all over the country. We started, only like 12, 13 years ago with many of the leading hip hop artists in the game, wanting to have a more political arm of hip hop. We're now based in Los Angeles and DC. And more importantly, we're doing issues from civil and human rights, issues regarding climate change, environmental justice, issues regarding strengthening democracy, getting out to vote, voting rights. We're doing all these issues that people, our community wants to see, but more importantly, we're doing it with fun. We're using our cultural expression to shape our political experience. Because if we say hip hop, can't stop, won't stop.